Now, knowing you, I know that you're aware of the things that people are saying. You're moving up in two-weight classes. You're the smaller man. Whatever you do, Terence Crawford, don't exchange against them. What do you feel you have to do?
Be myself. I'm 41-0 for a reason.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career.
For over 2 decades, Floyd Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record stood as an untouchable monument. He was the phantom of the ring, a defensive genius who turned legends into amateurs. Most believe his legacy would never be surpassed. But one historic night changed everything. After a masterclass performance against Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford had his hand raised, and with it, he raised a question that shook the boxing world. A single, explosive statement from the only man to face them both threatened to rewrite history. Suddenly, the debate wasn't just about who was better. It was about whether Mayweather's entire era had just been eclipsed.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight.
But the real shock came during the post-fight press conference. With the world's media hanging on his every word, Canelo was asked to compare Terence Crawford to his former opponent, Floyd Mayweather. He didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. What he said next sent shockwaves through the sport.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Coming from the only fighter on the planet to share the ring with both men, it wasn't just an opinion. It was a bombshell. One sentence, delivered without hesitation, sent shockwaves through the sport. The debate had always been there, simmering beneath the surface. But now, it had erupted. And it was about to draw in one of the loudest voices in sports media. Watching from the sidelines, Stephen A. Smith was instantly captivated. Like many, he expected Crawford to rely on technical precision, to stay on the outside, pick his shots, and outbox the bigger, stronger man, but that's not what happened.
Well, I appreciate Crawford making my prediction come through. Coming into the fight, I had him winning by decision. I thought he was the superior boxer. I thought he would be able to take a punch. And as long as he didn't stay there and exchange with Canelo, I thought he could do it. What surprised me is that there were times during the fight, he did stand there and exchange with Canelo and took it. Took some body shots to the liver, took some headshots, exchanged, and still ended up winning this fight. I thought from the 8th round on, he just put on a boxing clinic. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Crawford deserved to win the fight.
Smith was struck not only by Crawford's survival, but by his fearless willingness to step into the fire and trade punches with Canelo. It was clear Crawford had more than just skill. He had grit.
Crawford's a special fighter because he's got a mean streak. He doesn't back up from anything. He's usually the superior boxer in the ring. He finds a way to win. No matter who he's going up against, no matter what power you have, what boxing skills you have, he is truly a generational kind of fighter. He wants to go in the ring and not just beat you, but show you he was a better man. And he's not one who believes that just a knockout does that. He likes outboxing you and showing you that his skill level is superior to yours. And he showed it tonight.
As Smith put it, what I didn't expect was for him to stand in there, exchange blows, and come out standing. And he did it, multiple times. That resilience is why Crawford deserves immense credit. Breaking down the fight, Smith revealed he had it scored 5-4 in Crawford's favor after 9 rounds. Then, Crawford took control, delivering a masterclass in boxing during the final 3 rounds to seal a decisive victory. He absorbed Canelo's power, fired back with precision, and thrived in moments where most smaller fighters would have crumbled.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm gonna embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
Stephen A. Smith hailed it as a masterclass, an unforgettable performance that demanded respect. Yet, despite his admiration, he wasn't quite ready to dethrone the king. Because deep down, he remembered a different kind of master, a phantom in the ring, something Crawford, for all his heart and grit, simply wasn't.
Floyd Mayweather looks me in my face and he says, I'm gonna take him out about the 8th or 9th round. And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're gonna do this? He said, Stephen A., he's a UFC fighter. He said, and he's a striker. He's accustomed to coming at you and throwing punches. What he's not accustomed to doing is punching while he's throwing backwards, while he's moving backwards and pushing you off of him. He says, I'm gonna walk right into him and stay in his chest. He's gonna have to push me off in order to throw his punches. He said he's gonna be circling the ring. He said by around 4 or 5, he's not gonna have any legs. He's gonna be done. And he said, and I'll just toy with him and keep him around until around the 8th or the 9th round. And that is exactly what Floyd Money Mayweather did. He told me exactly what he was gonna do, and he did it.
Mayweather fought the last half of his career virtually one-handed, undefeated despite significant injury. Smith drew a crucial line that shifts the entire argument. He reminded everyone that Floyd Mayweather was a defensive enigma, a magician whose primary goal was to win without taking a single hit. With hands notoriously brittle and damaged throughout the latter half of his career, Floyd knew he couldn't rely on knockout power. This wasn't just speculation, it was a well-documented fact.
You heard your hand? Huh? I thought you heard your hand. How about so? Okay, all right. Relax, baby, the job is done already. Put in a bucket of ice, man. Yeah, I'll get a bucket of ice. Kill him.
I'm saying Shane hit me with a hell of a shot. Okay. Actually, 2 shots.
Oh, okay.
But even in that particular round, what I said to Shane was this. I was like,
you dead self said something to him when you grabbed him.
I said, you gotta kill me.
Oh shit.
I said,
I wasn't ready, bro.
I said that was a good one. I said that was a good one, but you gotta kill me.
Wow.
So you gotta kill me. And did I mean I'm not gonna lie. I meant.
Mayweather himself admitted his hands were incredibly brittle. He even revealed that, due to injury, he couldn't spar for an entire month before his fight with Conor McGregor. You hurt your hand, he explained, highlighting just how fragile they had become. To add a more controversial layer, reports have long suggested that
Rocky Marciano was 49-0. Before Floyd got to 50-0, he was a heavyweight champ. Did anyone ever consider Rocky Marciano the GOAT? No, not seriously, no. Why would Floyd be considered the GOAT? Because he beat more fighters than Rocky did, more great ones? That's true. But really, Floyd was careful in the way he selected opponents. Don't get that twist. It's not that Floyd didn't fight a lot of great fighters. He did. It's not that I don't think he would have beaten a lot of the tougher fighters that he fought. I think he probably would have, but he didn't do it. He waited. He waited till Pacquiao wasn't at his best anymore. He didn't fight Margarito when Margarito was tearing everyone up. He waited for the right time to fight people. He got paid twice as much for fighting Pacquiao in a less dangerous fight than he would have had he fought him when everyone wanted to see him fight. Floyd is among the all-time greats, but he ain't no.
In the second half of his career, Mayweather fought almost exclusively in Las Vegas, one of the few places that allows fighters to use numbing injections like xylocaine to manage hand pain. This hinted that his hand issues were a major factor in shaping not just how, but where he fought. Rather than rely on brute force, he became untouchable, an elusive master of defense. Before Floyd reached 50-0, Rocky Marciano stood at 49-0, a record that seemed untouchable for decades.
I can't say he's capping. Because I don't know what he felt. But when I heard that, what I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23, I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he been doing and all that. Trust me, it's on wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying.
I don't know. That's what it gives it that air.
I also think you got to remember when you talking about a Mexican fighter, they big on punishment. He might also feel Crawford punches harder than Floyd and took more chances than Floyd took. Floyd really was super speed that night. Everything speed, and it irritated Canelo because Canelo couldn't do what he wanted to do, and he looked nothing like himself. Like I said, I think it was just times where Canelo felt like, damn, I could have had him. With Floyd, I think he felt like paralyzed. Like, damn, I can't catch this motherfucker. He too fast. But with Crawford, I felt like he maybe was saying, damn, I could have, if I would have threw this, or if I would have did that. You know what I mean? Because it was times Crawford sat there and caught a punch and countered back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He let Canelo throw. Like, go ahead, throw your shit. He caught that shit, boom, and come right back with the hook. The same shot he caught Earl with. He was touching Canelo with some of that same shit, man. And it was just like, and it was times where Crawford was imposing himself on Canelo. He was stepping to Canelo at times. He didn't do it the whole fight, but I'm just saying it was times he stepped to him. Floyd did too, but Floyd just was so fast, so much faster, and the education was like totally different. Like when Canelo fought Floyd, Canelo was in middle school. He wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Floyd by that time was already a Harvard graduate. You know what I'm saying? So
this perspective was echoed by trainer Greg Hackett, who argued that the Floyd who faced Canelo was a complete fighter, unshakable and polished, while contrasting that with Crawford's more aggressive, Wilder-like style.
I can't say that. I think that Floyd Mayweather was such a magician defensively. And we have to look at Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Once he moved up to welterweight, his hands were always damaged. So he kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to knock you out for the most part. And still, he walked into the ring and put on masterful performances because he was so superior skill-wise and defensively. You can't say enough. Tonight with Crawford, for example, we saw him take a punch on several occasions. With Floyd, we didn't see that too often because you couldn't hit him. That's the